Hello guys! First of all, today is Thursday, and that is a super weird time for me to be posting my video of the week, especially since it's a Bible study one. So, this week has just been so crazy for me, but I really wanted to get to it. I did not want to skip this week for this coming Sunday, because I have all of my series planned out for the rest of the year, so I've got everything planned out, and I really wanted to stay on schedule. So first, this is my puppy, Riley. He's not really a puppy. He's actually 8. He just had his birthday last week. And he's being all weird because he doesn't like that we're home all the time because he likes to sleep. So he might just chill out here with us. He might go sleep on my bed or on my couch in a little bit. But, oh, yep. You want to go? You want to lay down on my lap? You want to lay on my lap? Okay, so he might just chill out here with us. And that's all good. There we go. Okay, so let me get my notes organized and let's get going. So today is Thursday, but I have been planning out this video all week and I did put a lot of time into it. So that is okay. I want to remind you really fast that next week is our last week in the series Fruitful. And so at the end of next week's video, I will be announcing what the next theme is going to be. Like I said before, I have all of my themes planned out for the rest of the year. So I do know what I'm going to do. I have everything all set out. So today we are breaking down 3 fruits of the Spirit, which is the most that we have done in a video so far, and then next week we'll be breaking down the last one. So today we are going to be talking about goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness. So please remember to take notes if you have been for our activity next week. It is going to be so fun. I really hope that you like it and that you'll be able to do it outside of this video. So the first fruit is goodness, and according to the Bible, goodness means an uprightness of heart and of life. So basically, it's just like being an upright person, doing good things, and just having making yourself a good life and being a good person. And goodness is a lot like kindness, so I'm not going to have a whole lot to say because I made a whole video on kindness. If you really need to take down some notes, take down some stuff for kindness. I might be able to put some more notes for you in the description if you want to use them. So Psalm 27:13 says, "I believe that I shall look upon the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living." This basically says that we should see the goodness of the Lord and that we will see all of his goodness and of his ways on earth, on our land of the living, of the mortals. And chill out. Oh, his ball's on the ground. Yeah, that's your toy. Where was I? So Psalm 27:13, "I believe that I shall look upon the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living." So you will see the goodness of God, and you shall find the goodness of God, even through all of this hard times that we're going through right now. You shall look upon the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. So I love that verse a lot. And then Psalm 107:1 says, "Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His steadfast love endures forever." That one kind of explains itself, but I will explain it to you. So give thanks to the Lord, first of all, for he is good. So you give thanks to the Lord because he is a good God, and everything that he does because he loves you. And his steadfast love endures forever. So his love will hold steady. It will never break. And it endures forever, not just for a couple days, not just until we get annoying, but it will last forever. So I love that one so much. I don't have too much to say about goodness because, like I said before, it is a lot like kindness. So just take down some notes that you gain from that. The Lord is good. We are to be good people. It's a lot like kindness. So that is that one. The 7th fruit of the Spirit out of the 9 is faithfulness. And this one is so good. I have a lot to say about this one. So being faithful is being loyal, for if you didn't know that. But, most people probably know what faithfulness is because it is a term that is used pretty often. So whether it is being faithful to a friend, family member, or to God, it is important to be faithful. Being faithful is keeping your promises and sticking by people or God, not giving up on them and not giving in to God. Like in the Bible, pretty sure it was Peter, denied Jesus 3 times, and that was not a very faithful thing to do, because he was not standing by Jesus. So that's basically, if you hang out with somebody who is not a very cool person, not very many people like them, and then the cool kids come up to you and they're like, are you friends with them? And you're like, no. And then they ask you 3 times if you're friends with them, and you say no every single time, when in reality you are best friends with them. That is not being a very faithful person. So that's kind of like the modernized version of how Peter denied Jesus 3 times. So if you're being faithful to God, it's just not going away from him because your family or friends don't like him. So like, especially if you go to a public school. I have never gone to a public school. I'll be honest with you guys. I have gone to private school my whole life. So I don't know what public school is like, but I do have friends that are in public school that switched from my private school to a public school. And they are both, I have 2 friends, like my 2 best friends actually both switched to public school. And they're both very strong Christian girls. But they are in public school, and they stand by God, and they acknowledge that they are Christians in a non-Christian school. And that's okay because they're being faithful and not getting blinded by the world. Being faithful is very important, even if it's not just in your religion, but in everyday life, because you will be faithful to your friends. They put faith in you by telling you secrets and telling you things that they wouldn't normally tell other people. You put faith in your husband or wife, your spouse, that they will keep your relationship strong and that they will still continue to love you and to just help out if you live in the same house with them, you trust that they will do good at work to be able to help pay for the lifestyle that you have. And if you have kids, you rely on them that they will help take care of your kids and that they will be able to make money to feed them. And if you have a job, you rely on your coworkers that they will be able to help you and help keep the workload even. If you are a student, you rely on your teachers that they will give you the knowledge, that they will teach you the things that you need to be taught. The only problem is, as faithful as you are, there are going to be people in your life who are not going to be faithful to you. Even if you are super faithful to them and you never tell any of their secrets and you always keep the relationship going strong, you are going to know people that are not very faithful. Your friends are going to tell your secrets, your spouses are going to let you down, your coworkers are going to slack off at the job, and your teachers are not going to give you the knowledge that you need to acquire. But even though people fail you, God will always be there for you. In Hebrews 13:8, it says that Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. So Jesus Christ is going to be the same for us forever. He's not going to be like that moody friend that's like your best friend one day and then your mortal enemy the next day. He is going to be your best friend always. And it doesn't matter what you do, because sometimes when you have friendships, if you do something that is mean to them, or you do something, if you deny them, they probably won't be your friends anymore. But Peter denied Jesus multiple times, 3 times to be exact. And Jesus still loves him, and Jesus still loves all of us, because guess what? We are sinners and we can't do anything about that. We can ask him to forgive us for our sins, but that is not going to change the fact that we do still sin. And so I love faithfulness, and faithfulness is just such an important trait to have. The last fruit we are talking about today, this video is kind of going to be short, is gentleness. This fruit is very important in everyday life too. Gentleness is just like how it sounds, except it's not always talking about being physically gentle. Like right now when I'm petting my dog, I am being physically gentle with him by not hitting him or like yelling in his ears. I'm being gentle with him by just petting him softly and not being right up close to him. I'm just being gentle with him. And so that it is good to be physically gentle, and that is a part of it, and not hitting people and stuff like that or being mean to them in that way. But there is more to being gentle than just how it happens physically. You need to be gentle in your actions, in your words, and even in your thoughts. And I think that that's kind of a weird thing to think about. But you need to be gentle in your words, and so this one is another pretty obvious one, because you don't say rude things to people. You don't say, "Oh, I hate you. Oh, you're a jerk." That's not being gentle with your words. Being gentle with your words, saying, "Oh, hi, how are you?" Just nice things like that. "Oh, I like your shoes today. I like how you did your hair last night," or, however that might look to you. So, like, even if it's just like if your mom is out there doing something, like doing the dishes, and or let's say, okay, scratch the dishes thing. Let's say that she's making a dinner that you don't really like that much, and instead of like coming into the kitchen and be like, oh, we're having this for dinner again. Thanks, Mom. You could be like, thanks, Mom, for making us dinner. Otherwise, we'd starve. You know, that's a good thing, too. It's good to not starve. So being gentle with your physical actions, being gentle with your words, and the next one is being gentle with your thoughts. Being gentle with your thoughts is probably the hardest part about this because no one is ever gentle with their thoughts. You could meet a person that is super nice, never says anything bad about you, never hurts you in any way, but you have no idea what's going on up here. They could be thinking terrible things about you. If they have a very annoying person in their life, they could be super nice to them, but they could be thinking, oh my gosh, this person is so annoying. When will they just stop talking? And I have done that before. I will admit it, guys, that I have done that to people before where I'm not necessarily being rude to them or not gentle to them with my words or with my actions, but I have been being mean to them with my thoughts, just thinking, oh my gosh, this person, ugh. And that's the thing that everybody does, and that's probably one of the hardest things to do is having nice thoughts about people because people don't really do that very often. It doesn't matter how nice they are, they could be having mean thoughts up there. I wanted to share, I forgot about this, but I wanted to share a verse with you guys when I started talking about gentleness, about a verse that really does sum it up very well. Titus 3:2 sums up gentleness perfectly. It says to speak evil of no one, to avoid quarreling, to be gentle, and to show perfect courtesy towards all people. So obviously you're not going to be able to be perfect in this area. You are not going to always be able to speak no evil of anyone, because even if you're nice to the person on to their face, you're not always going to be nice to them. Like when you get home and talk to your mom, and I'm also guilty of this. I get home and I talk to my mom and I was like, oh my gosh, this person was so annoying today. Like, I have done that, and that is not good, and I realize that, and I've been trying to do better. To speak evil of no one, to avoid quarreling, so to not try just like seek out arguments. Some people, I know that there are people in my family that do this because they will go out and they will post something on social media that is literally looking for a fight. They're posting something about politics. They're posting something about this COVID-19 that is not a popular opinion, something that is people like to argue about a lot, very debatable subjects. And they just post and they get into arguments with so many people. And it's like, that is looking for an argument. Looking for an argument is not good. You don't want to try to argue with people. And you don't want to try to create drama that will make people argue with you, and you don't want to necessarily egg the argument on. So that's why normally when I start an argument, I'll just like, if my brother is like getting mad at me about something, instead of like trying to defend myself, I'll just say, you know what, you're right, I'm sorry, let's just let it go. And then that's normally the end of it, instead of arguing about, whoa, you did this, and no, you did that, no, I was just trying to do this. It's like, no, there's no point in doing that. Just saying, okay, I was in the wrong, and I am sorry for that. Just owning up to that is like super brave, guys, because some people have a really, really hard time doing that, especially if it's at school. If you get caught cheating on a homework assignment, or if you get caught for something that's pretty big, or like at work, if you've been caught slacking off or like looking at your phone during work, that's hard to fess up to, and doing that is really brave. So going back to the thing about thinking terrible thoughts about people, 1 John 3:15 says that, so this is like, it's a pretty long verse, but I simplified it. It says basically that if you hate someone, you have as good as murdered them. So if I had this person right here, and here's me, and I'm coming up and talking to them, and they're like being really annoying, just talking about themselves all the time, and so let's say that happens, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's super cool. So, like on the outside, I'm like, alright, that's cool. But then inside I have one thought like, oh my gosh, this is so annoying. This person is so dumb and annoying. Right there, I murdered them. And like, that's so sad, because then technically everyone who has ever had a bad thought about someone is a murderer and could go to jail. Because, right, murdering is against the laws. It is illegal, and it is punishable by going to jail, or sometimes even being sentenced to death. And so that is like just terrible to think about, that obviously we have not actually killed the person with a knife or with a gun. But you have as good as murdered them just by having that one bad thought about them, and that's really scary and it's crazy. That is all that I really have to talk about today. These 3 fruits were pretty self-explanatory, and they also go along with a lot of the fruits that I like mega covered, like kindness and love. So I did not have as much to say on these ones as I did with the past 5. I think we have done 5. So next week we have a pretty full week up ahead of us, or weekend since it's already Thursday. We are going to talk about self-control. We're going to do that as our study. We're going to be talking about self-control. I have a lot to say as far as this one goes. And then we are going to do our activity, and so I really hope that you guys will enjoy it. And then we are going to do a little bit of introduction as to what our next theme is going to be. So we do have 3 things planned for next week, so that video might be a little bit longer, so I hope that you were able to get some good notes taken down. And then next week, so I'm going to tell you right now what you're going to need for this weekend. Our activity, you're going to need whatever notes you brought with you, you wrote down through the series. You are going to need a piece of notebook paper or a journal, and you're going to need a pen and a Bible. And if you don't have a Bible, you can go to bible.com on your phone or on your laptop, on your iPad, on your tablet, on whatever device that you use to find things. You go to bible.com. So if you don't have one of those, do that. And so those are going to be the things that you're going to be needing next week. And so I am super excited for that. Not only are we going to be talking about one of my favorite fruits, but we are also going to be doing a fun activity that I learned how to do last year in school, and I have done several times, and I'm going to show you guys so many examples of our activity because I have a whole folder full of them. So this is going to be super fun. I hope you had a great time this week and that you were able to take sufficient notes. So have a great week, or what's left of it. Happy Friday tomorrow. That's a thing to be happy about. It's Friday Eve, you guys. And I hope to see you in the next couple days and then in the next couple weeks.